everyone, welcome back to my channel, and it's so lovely to see how many of you have subscribed even though I've not posted a video in so long. I do need to explain where I've been, why I've been away for so long, and hopefully you understand, but thank you so much for sticking with me and we'll get into the video. Let me explain. Around Christmas time, well around December, and the beginning of January, it just hasn't been a good time in my life. Some things down to me and some family things. I won't go into the family things, but I just felt like making a video and talking about finances, even though that would have probably helped in some ways. Some of my bad habits have crept back in, so I didn't want to come on and make a video about something that I'm not putting into practice myself. So I'm going to explain what I've done. I'm not going to go over my December spending or January spending, because what are we now? The 19th of January. I hadn't even written a budget. That's how badly I got out of the good habits that I'd put into practice, as you'd seen in my videos last year. I went on a bit of a shopping spree, on Vinted of all places. So, I mean, it could have been worse, but that does mean now I do have some debt. So I already spoke about having some debt before, but I really needed to put in place a plan to kick this. So that brings me on to what I'm going to talk about today. I'm actually going to talk about my 2026 goals. I'm probably a bit late to the party, seeing as we're on the 19th of January already. But it's better late than never, hey. I have got a goal to pay off the debt that I have. It works out at roughly £337 a month. I've transferred the debt to a 0% interest credit card. Now, anyone that follows like the likes of Dave Ramsey and people like that will probably be shouting at me like, you're not going to learn a lesson. And yeah, you're right, but, and I know like he has that phrase like maths isn't, or math in the American term, isn't the problem, or, you know, if I could do math I wouldn't have got myself into this mess in the first place. But basically, when I feel quite low, I do end up spending. And basically towards the end of last year, quite a few things went wrong, like trivial things. Like I think I told you my hair straighteners broke or weren't working properly. I put my car in for a service and I had like quite a big repair bill, and it was £400. I had the money saved, and I was able to use that, but then I felt really bad because my emergency fund that I built up was then lower than I wanted it to be, and I was putting so much pressure on myself to have a certain amount in savings, and then for using those savings, which defeats the point of it, doesn't it? Like I need to I just needed to have a proper word with myself and get a grip, and I feel like I've done that now. Also, so we had a little bit of snow here. I mean, it was literally like a light dusting of snow. My car then wouldn't start. This is like shortly after I'd had the car serviced. It just wouldn't start, and it was facing the wrong way to sort of jump start it off of another vehicle. So my boyfriend was able to push it out onto our road, which has a slope, and then bump start it. We then drove it to Bath of all places because a family member was in the hospital there, and it was absolutely fine. We were able to get home, no issues. Anyway, the following day I had like all these plans to, there was like a walking group that had just started up in my local town, and I think I might have mentioned before that I don't know many people in my local town that I now live in, other than people that are associated with my boyfriend, and I kind of want to make my own friends, and I don't work in this town, so I'm just trying to find ways of meeting new people. And I thought, oh, I could join this walking group, and then my car wouldn't start, and I just felt so deflated. I then had to buy a battery for the car. And my car's nothing grand or anything, but it had to have like a stop start function on it, which meant that the battery that I bought was £140. Had it not had the stop start function, it would have been something like £60. And you know me, I would have searched for a bargain. I did search all different top cashback sites, etc., to get money back, or at least get a discount. So I ended up ordering it, I think, from Halfords. It was in the end. It took a few days to arrive, but that is now in. But I mean, that was £140, had to come out of the emergency fund again. Sorry, I sound like so negative, but I'm past negativity, and I didn't want to come on and make a video and be negative. I'm just trying to explain the situation and where I'm at currently, to hopefully explain my goals. Sorry, this video is a bit of a mess, and I hope you can continue watching, but this is making sense. So yeah, I had used quite a bit of my emergency fund, and I was beating myself up about it, and that's silly. That's what it's there for. It's for emergencies, and I feel like a car breakdown is an emergency. Maybe you think differently. Let me know if you do agree or not. I don't mind it. If you don't, that's the whole point of the discussion. But all of that to say, I know that a real trigger of mine is spending when I feel low. So that is probably why I did it. And you know, I was only buying things like gym clothes. They were like branded gym clothes, and one item, actually, funny enough, hasn't turned up, and I may be getting a refund on that, so it might not be all bad, but it says it's arrived and it hasn't, and I don't know what's happened, but it's at the moment it's up to Vinted to help me sort that out. But anyway, back to the goals, what I'm doing. So I've sort of put them into categories of priority, so things that I want to get done this year, or you know, make a good stab at this year. And then the next section of goals is going to be wants, things that I want, but you know, if I don't reach them, I won't beat myself up about them. So so the first one is, like I said, to pay off debt. So £337 over 14 months is what I need to pay to make use of the 0% interest period. So what I did was I made use of Martin Lewis's Money Saving Expert website. He has got a tool on there where you, and I'm not advocating debt by any means, but I'm just thinking if anyone else is in the situation that I found myself in, where this debt I have keeps accumulating in interest. So I might make a payment of £200, but it might have an interest payment of £100. That's the whole purpose of me moving it across to the 0% card. And I found a card that doesn't charge a fee to move the debt across. So like I was saying, the Martin Lewis website Money Saving Expert has got a, what do they call it? It's a tool. And it's where you can go on and you can see whether you're likely to be approved before you actually apply, so that you'll get like a soft search on your credit score, but not a hard search, if that makes sense. So the hard search is what does affect your credit score, whereas the soft search is just like when you're like looking for insurance quotes and things, you'll get like a soft search on your credit file, but it won't have an impact. Does that make sense? So I didn't want to go off to any old provider and apply for a card that I might not get accepted for. And it gives you like the chance of you being accepted anyway. This particular card I had like 100% success rate with, so I knew that I would get it, but it doesn't tell you whether you'd get the credit limit. And then some of them do say you can get a certain credit limit, and you can do it for loans as well, but this is the only situation that I would feel comfortable taking out more debt. And to be honest, I wasn't actually comfortable with it for a while, and it took me a while to be like, you're being silly, you're paying this money off, but you're accumulating interest. It's going to take you a lot longer to pay off than if you just move it across to 0%. And now I've got like a figure in mind a bit like if you were to pay a loan, you know how much you're paying each month. So I know I've got £337 a month to pay. At the end of last year, I was lucky enough to receive a pay rise and money was backdated, but I don't know, I haven't worked out yet what my actual monthly salary is because of how my payslip looked. Like it just had just big one lump sum of like what was backdated, and I haven't worked out what my monthly salary is, so I will figure that out when I get my payslip for at the end of January. And then I can do a proper budget and I can work out whether £337 is going to be doable based around what I've currently been doing, or whether I need to cut out investments for the time being. And if I've got to do that for now, then so be it. It's just short-term pain for long-term gain, hopefully. Because if I don't have that £337 around my neck every month, eventually, then that £337, and if you know when I've got this paid off, could be in my budget to save, is what I'm thinking. That's the theory behind it. So let's hope it works. So that is top priority. My next priority is to keep my emergency fund of at least £1,000. So as I said, I did dip into my emergency fund. I did have a backdated payment come in my last salary, so I was able to build that back up, and I am happy to say that I still have £1,000 in my emergency fund. And then it's also been helped by the fact that someone signed up to my Lloyds for a friend scheme. They did actually comment, and I can't remember, I'm so sorry. They did comment and said that they'd signed up, and I just wanted to thank them again for doing that, because that was £50 in my pocket, and also I believe they got £50. So it's win-win. So I do still have 4 more refer a friend codes available, and I will put a link in the description for that. If anyone hasn't already got a bank account with Lloyds, you can sign up through that referral link and we will both get £50 each. So yeah, so back to the goals. So yeah, keeping the emergency fund at £1,000. And then on to my wants. So I want to redo my bathroom this year. Obviously, like the other priorities will take priority. But if there is any room in the budget, I want to put it towards the bathroom, or at least save some money towards the bathroom. And that might become a sinking fund that I set up. I haven't set up any sinking funds yet. Well, I say that I have. I already had them in place. Does that make sense? So I've got one for my car insurance and car maintenance, and I think that's it for the moment. But in the future, I want to have something set up for my bathroom. So as part of my spending spree, what I did do is I have been looking for ages and ages and ages on Facebook Marketplace, because sometimes I see there is X display, like bathroom suites, or at least some bathroom items that come up that people are selling. And there actually was a sink vanity unit, so like the sort of chest of drawers or cabinet thing that the sink sits on, came up, as well as the sink. And it is brand new, it is still in the wrapping, and that was one of the items that I did spend on. So I've ended up spending £350 on this unit, the sink, taps, the waste like unit thing, and a like a vanity mirror. And it's one of those mirrors that has light. It's got a shaving socket inside. It's like a cabinet that you open, and it's also got the demisting function, and that was £50 on its own, which I think is a bargain. I know I shouldn't have bought it. Oh, sorry, you can probably see my cat loves getting in this window, and he is, in case you're thinking what on earth is that walking around, that is my cat in the background. He is playing, one second. Yeah, he plays with the ornaments that are in the window, so just checking that he wasn't going to knock them off. Yeah, so that was, sorry, I know the vanity unit and things were things that I didn't need to buy, but in my mind I was like, I really want to get the bathroom done in 2026. If I buy that, then that's like some way towards it. And I know roughly I probably need about another £1,000 at least, so I've priced up like for a bath, and we've already got a brand new shower which we had to install on the first day that we moved into the house, but so brand new bath, shower, screen is about 500, and all the sort of fixtures and fittings that go with it is about £500, and then obviously need a toilet, but I think that's going to be about £100 from what I've been looking at, from the things that I've been looking at. So that's 600 in total, and then I don't know, flooring and tiling, I have no idea what that costs. I haven't found anything yet that I like. I have took advantage of sites that offer to send you free samples, but so far things that have arrived I haven't liked, or at least I've had flooring samples so far and I haven't liked them, but that is gonna sort of be pushed to the back for the moment. But it's nice to sort of keep it in mind, you know, if I get the debt cleared off and I'm able to keep that emergency fund at £1,000, then that next I'll be working on the savings for the bathroom. So I'm thinking at least £1,000. Secondly, that will go with the bathroom is I will also need a plasterer. So I think I've shown you this room that I'm sat in right now as my bedroom. We've got Artex ceilings. We've taken out one built-in wardrobe that was in here, so there. Sorry, I'm looking over at it and I don't want to show you because I'm quite embarrassed, but I need a plasterer to help fix the wall, to make it look nice and smooth again. And I don't know what that costs yet, but that will be something that I get when I'll get quotes around that time that we're looking to do the bathroom. My next want is to get my emergency fund up to £2,500, and that is because I've worked out that would be a month's savings. Not a month's savings, what am I talking about? A month's expenses. That is for me and my partner to live for the month. That would cost us £2,500. That's if we both were out of work, etc. So that would cover us. And then obviously I would then look, once I got that goal, I would probably look to increase it to 3 months worth of expenses, etc. I mean, I think when I calculated it, actually the expenses came to like 2,200, but things are always going up, and I think by the time I get to this 2,500, the expense, you know, things are probably going to be about that. So I'm just trying to account for inflation. My next want is to set up more sinking funds, and I probably should make that a bit of a priority, but I haven't actually sat down and thought what sinking funds I actually need. So I think I've already got like car maintenance and car insurance sorted sort of. Well, I factor them into the budget at least, but I probably need to have a long think about more sinking funds. I know that some people have got them for like beauty, like hair appointments. I know that there's one that's coming up that I'm probably going to need, is dental costs. So I've got the dentist this week actually. So we'll see whether I need to get a sinking fund for that. Hopefully I'm all good, but you never know, do you, to go for that checkup. And then finally, I haven't set anything for my investments and pension this year. My investments are in quite a good place. I might have to stop investing as much as I have been due to get this debt down, because there's no point investing when I've got this debt. That needs to be the priority. But in a future video I will go over my investments and how they did in December and how they've done in January. I don't feel that there's any point doing a video now for December, I may as well just put that one into one video for you. I hope that's okay for those people that have subscribed to me for that purpose. So I hope that all makes sense with my goals. And thank you ever so much for watching. I do want to say thank you so much to a lot of the creators also that I follow, because I think actually if I hadn't watched some of your videos, I probably wouldn't have been motivated to get back into this. So I just want to name a few creators that I have watched and has helped me to be inspired to get back into this. So that was Sharon on living on a low income, Sharon on the Thrifty, she's changed her name, she used to be the Retirement Edit, I can't remember her new channel name. I will put names of channels that I have followed because they're brilliant. Frugal Granny, Ali Lives Well on Less, Nicola at the Frugal Cottage, and then I've been watching some cash stuffers, so Miss Budgets and Tori's Envelopes, two that I watched religiously. I do actually have a little bit of cash stuffing to do, but I might do that in another video, or I may just go to the post office and use the cash that I've got in my purse and pay down the debt. I'm still undecided. I'm welcome your feedback, so please let me know in the comments what you think I should do. It's not an awful lot. We sold some, that's another thing, so I probably should go into what I plan on doing to sort of help me pay off this debt. So my other half has started his new job. He is in employment now, so he scrapped his van. He scrapped it because the turbo had started to play up, or he couldn't fix the turbo or something on it. I'm not a mechanic, I don't know. But he didn't feel comfortable selling it on knowing that it had that issue, even though I felt like he probably could have done and explained that it had the issue, but he said he just didn't want anyone coming back to him on it, which is fine. So he scrapped that, so I think that got like £160 for that. He took the seats out, so it was a Peugeot GTI, I don't know what that even is, but I do know what it is, you know what I mean. I don't know how special that is. He took the seats out of it, or the front seats anyway, and we sold them on Facebook Marketplace, and I've still got the cash from that, which if I still have it by the end of the month, actually I'm thinking now that I may just pay that off the debt. If I need it for food shopping, it's there as well. So yeah, sold that. I've got a few things that I've sold on Vinted that are currently pending at the moment. So I had a coat on there all over Christmas. No one was even looking at it. No favourites whatsoever. Took it off, and I'd really reduced it down as well. Really reduced it down even before I took it off. I took it off, re-uploaded it, and within minutes it had sold. And I thought, I probably should have put it back up for the original price, or that I had it listed at, but it's gone now. So yeah, once that money is hit, that can also go off the debt. But yeah, I'm starting to list a few more things on Vinted now. Obviously, I have my second job. I've been doing quite a bit of cleaning. There is some materials for a job that my other half did that once he's invoiced for it, he will be able to give me the money. So there might be at one point I might mention that there's a chunk paid off of it, and that is where that chunk is coming from when he gets paid for the job that he did. Yeah, I hope that all makes sense. Thank you again so much for bearing with me. Thank you so much for following me. I probably won't get another video up again. I definitely won't get one next week because I'm on a course. I've actually got an exam to do, project management qualification. That is what it's called, short for PMQ. Remember when everyone used to do Prince 2? This now seems to be the thing that everyone asks for. I'm waiting to go on this course for a long time, and I think it's like a week intensive thing, and then the exam is at the end. So it's likely that the next video you see from me will be on my stocks and shares ISA, my investments, and what dividends I've earned and where I'm at with that. So yeah, so thank you again for watching, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.